The clash between herders and farmers in Nigeria have continued unabated for quite a long time, worsening security situation alongside other attendant effects. What factors have contributed to the persistent herders-farmers clash in Nigeria? I'm Blessing Eiche. You're watching Viewpoints.
Herders-farmers crisis have persisted because of federal government, or rather the president, complacency to these activities. The federal government has a 2-year own Nigerian responsibility to protect our lives and property, but no decisive decision have been taken regarding addressing this herders-farmers crisis, and it has in a way prolonged the crisis. The Nigeria security architecture, as it were, to me is structurally defective, and there is a need for government at all levels to redesign the security architecture in a way that the common man can be protected. In profiling solutions to this problem, I think we need to create, the federal government, or rather the government at all levels, need to create a security outfit that the state government can have control over. As it stands right now, the state government do not have the security outfit to protect the lives and property in the state. So we still rely and depend on the federal government security agencies to protect the life and property. That is why you see at all levels the government have not been able to provide solution to this problem.
The first thing is the lack of decisiveness, which for me I think is critical by the security forces, the federal government in the first instance, and the security forces. I say lack of decisiveness because the kind of intelligence that the government has, the average Nigerian does not. So they know indeed the extent to which this crisis is going, or the extent of the crisis. But they have not taken decisive. You saw something recently, the president said, shoot at any handling weapon. What that tells us is that definitely those who were using weapons carelessly would not hide it, because they know it's a death sentence for them. So that kind of decisiveness is what we require to end the crisis from the federal government. And then I also would want to look at the state government across the board. They have failed to act in states like Borno, like Ondo, and then to an extent Oyo. We are seeing action, and then of course we could say Edo too. We could see that the governors are now stepping up, because perhaps the crisis is going beyond rhetoric now. It's not coming to affect them. If one might even ask, why do governors collect security votes if they won't use the security votes to secure the people? What we must do is to take effective action at the level of public policy to resolve the crisis. And then our people, when we see something, we ought to say something. So I'm suggesting too that we realize that security is a collective responsibility, and we ought to.
I believe that Nigeria is rich in natural resources of diverse kinds, and if the natural resources that are allocated to each region, have the north, several parts of the north like the northeast and the northwest, north central, middle belt, south, are harnessed and used to replenish, and stimulate the economies of this region, everyone will focus on their regions, and then we can have a scenario of exchange of commodities for profitability, which will require less commute between people of these regions. So the focus has always been about territory and land acquisition. I believe that the resources harnessed by each region of the country can be explored by other regions without necessarily the residents of these regions or community residents having to move or commute across regions, because whether we like to admit it or not, Nigeria is a nation of diverse interests, diverse ethnicities, diverse beliefs. You know, the beliefs in the core north obviously are not working in the core south. And the culture of the core south doesn't very much work well in the north. So, but we cannot deny that we need the essential commodities and products and produces of the north, as well as the north needing the produces and resources of the south. But I believe that this can be done without the necessary migration of residents of such communities across the borders, you know. And we must come to the truth of how these people move, what they do when they move.
The persistence of herders-farmers clash simply had showed up the reason. We need a severe relationship. That is the honest truth. A severe relationship can be very drastic. It can be mild or whatever. That, for instance, you can say, okay, let's regionalize. Everybody return back to your region and we have a strong center. Otherwise, others will say, let's go back to our nation.
One of the things that I felt, in my opinion, that contributed to the issue of clashes here and there every day is that the government has paid too much neglect on the issue of security of the nation. Today, you can see some group of persons I see in the country today, all of them that claim to be a northerner. When I mean northern, I'm talking about people in the northern of Nigeria. Most of these people are not Nigerians. Some came in from a closer border country to Nigeria. All of them are claiming to be northerners. Because if you look at it critically, you also agree with me that if the government have been paying attention to the level of insecurity in the country, it wouldn't have generated to the issue of whereby people are not able to go to their farms, where there have even been cases where you have to even take permission from a group of persons to go to farm. See, we have taken security for granted in Nigeria, and I feel it is the high time that people are in the government, people at the helm of affairs, have to take it very seriously. Because you see, some years back, when people were talking about guerrilla war, those days we heard about suicide bombers, who they heard about people committing, killing people among themselves. I said, no, it cannot happen in Nigeria because we so much love ourselves. But today, it has become something that have come to stay. So, one of the things that the nation have to do generally is that this is not an issue of politics now, because everything in Nigeria has been politicized, in the sense that certain thing that is going to affect me and you, because of my own personal interest, as far as I'm not immediately concerned, it is not my problem. Because you see, we also see that this nation that to tackle the issue of security is something that if government actually want to go in the direction, the people can be brought to book.
Restructuring of Nigeria's security architecture to encourage local policing, as well as decisive policies to address herders-farmers clash in the country, have been recommended. I'm Blessing Aichi.